morning, ladies. Welcome to Uniquely Robin's. This is Robin. I had a request for someone wanted to know how I made the inside of the pink journal, the big pink photo album journal, how I did put the pages in it. So I thought I would share that with you today. I tried to explain it to her, but it's sometimes, well, most of the time, it's easier to show you than it is to tell you. So I had this journal cover that I've already had made, and I haven't finished the inside yet. So we will do this one like that. I've got my papers here pretty much cut out, so you didn't have to sit and watch me cut everything. So we'll start with the back pages or sub pages, however you want to call them. And I'm just going to trim this last one. I don't know if I'm going to need it or not, and it's not exactly the same color as the rest, but it'll be all right in the end. So I'm just going to trim this one down a little bit because I had it a little bit too long. Too wide? Yeah, just a tiny bit too wide too. So we're just going to cut just a tiny bit off of this end too. And like I said, I'm not sure going to need it or not. I never know exactly how many pages my journal is going to have until I start making it, and then go from there. So these pages, let me measure this for you. This journal is going to be it's a little over 5.5 by 9. So, I don't normally measure a whole lot. So what I do is I put it right up against where my paper is, because I don't want my pages to be longer than the journal. And normally, you would fold before you get to this crease. But on this type, we're going to go past the crease, so we have a little extra leeway there. And I'm just going to mark where my page, or where the crease is, because that is where we're going to want to fold. So I'll get my little handy dandy. It's very dirty too. It needs cleaned up. Very messy, I guess. Now I need my bone folder, which, don't tell me I lost my yellow one again. Oh, I'll find it. Okay, so I'm gonna fold. That is about. Sorry, I'm a little disorganized today. I've not been sleeping well, and I try to get it as close as possible to what it is on the paper. So I'm just gonna make a mark on my ruler. So it is over 1/2 inch where I marked it at. So we're gonna fold right there. And this will wipe off. I'm just gonna mark this so I know which one I used. My eyesight is not the greatest anymore. Guess that's what you get for getting old. But we've all got to deal with it, right? So we're going to fold all these pages on that line. I'm hoping I'm explaining this well enough for you. So these are going to be the pages that are going to be hooked into the book, and then we're going to add our pretty paper on top of it. Gives it a little more stability. And this is cardstock. You really need to use, it's very important that you use cardstock, a good quality cardstock for these, because they will have a lot of pressure on them, and you want them to be sturdy. So we got those, so let's crease these down, get a good end in there. What do you guys think of this Ohio weather? I'm telling you, it has been crazy. Cold one day, warm the next, rained all night. Of course, every time I decide I'm going to go out and mow, it has to rain on me. Okay, I'm going to burnish these down. I hope everybody is well and safe. With the rise in COVID again. Okay, so we have those burnished. Now I'm going to take my little scissors. No. Hold on one second, I gotta grab it. Sorry, I was fussy cutting in the other room. And I forgot to bring them back. Okay, and I'm just going to go from where we creased it at an angle. Excuse my shaky fingers, but that's life. And snip off just the ends to taper that a bit. Takes out a little of the bulk. Boy, Robin, you're not with it at all today. All right. Really hate this not being able to see my grandkids much with all this stuff going around. Hopefully it will be over soon. Okay. Now, as you can notice, this one page I do know is not the same color. We're going to use the other ones first anyway. I'm going to save that one aside just in case I need an extra page. But like I said, once you put, let me show you here if I can get a hold of these pages. Once you put your top paper on it, you're not going to see but just a little bit around the edge of that anyway. So we're gonna go with it. Okay, and I just take my, you can use glue, you can use score tape, double-sided tape, however you want to attach these in. I just always use my art glitter glue. I think I need a little bit fatter pen because my glue keeps getting stopped up even when I do remember to close it, which is not always. Okay. So we're just going to put some glue on here. Maybe if I can get it to come out. I think I need to order me another one of these little tips too. It's one I've had for a while. Make sure I got all that off of there. Okay. And I don't know about you, but I've gotten a lot of those election ad papers in the mail. And you know how they're made on that like cardstock paper. So we're going to be doing some crafts with some junk mail this week and try to use some of those up. Okay, I'm going to turn this way so I can get this first one lined up straight, because you really need especially the first one to be straight on there. If you can see, I got it on the inside of where my the book is going to fold. Go up a little bit and get it straight. And then we're going to burnish that down. Now, I have a book that I have made this way. The first one I made, I was really worried that it was going to not hold well once you got all the weight in it. But I've had it for 3-4 years now, and I have not had a problem one out of it. Make sure that's down really good and solid. Okay, so that's our first page. Now the next one, I am going to trim down because I don't want it quite as long because we're going to put it over top of that other one. So I'm just going to trim just a little bit off of it. And sometimes you just have to fly by the seat of your pants. But it all looks gorgeous in the end. And we're going to put this right on top of that first one we placed down there. So I'm going to put some glue on this one. Okay. And I want it to be right up against, I'm hoping you can see this. Still see what I'm doing. Right up against the fold of the other one. So it's going to lay right on top of where it's going to live. And then we're going to burnish that down really well. Sorry, I'm shaking the table and shaking you. I'm going to give you a shaken lady syndrome. Okay. So there you have your first 2 pages in your book. Okay. Now this in here, you can take, I have some strips of this paper, and I just cut them to fit right on top of that. So you won't even know that that is there. And I go over to the edge of where I put the paper on my spine. That way it does 2 things. It covers this up so you don't see it. Did I get that crooked? No. I'm surprised. Wouldn't be me if it wasn't a little crooked somewhere. But 2 things. It covers that up so you don't notice it. And 2, it goes over a little bit where we cut those slits out, so it gives it a little more extra support. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. And these, y'all, all will be trimmed down a little bit. Not a lot, just a smidgen. Okay. Don't you just love crafting? I love crafting. Okay, and this one, we're going to do the opposite way, to where our little folded area is on the outside. And we're going to glue it down. Okay. And just make sure your pages are even. And you can butt it right up against the other one. And see your book is still going to open and close. And we're going to burnish that down. Okay. I'm going to cut all these at the same time down a little bit. That way you don't have to keep waiting on me to do it every time. I can get it straight there. Ah, you want to push on me. It was pushing back. It didn't want to be cut. Now it's uneven. That one end just wants to stick up, doesn't it? Come on. Okay. More than one way to skin a cat. We'll do it this way and it won't stick up on us. I should have done that to begin with. Okay. There we go. There is no skinning of cats here, just so you know. No animals were harmed in the making of this journal. Get a hold of this one. Make sure it's folding right. Okay. Then we're going to glue on to that one. And depending on the number of pages that you want in your book, is kind of dependent on how big your spine is. And this one we're going to do the other way again. Try to turn it where you can see it. There's a shadow in here. Just make sure that you get it over far enough that that page will still come up, and even with the other pages. Press it down. All right. Let's see. Yeah, we are going to have room for that other page. It's going to bug me, probably not going to bug anybody else, but it'll bug me that it's not exactly the same color, but sometimes we just have to overcome. My husband tells me on some things I have OCD. I always tell him I have CDO. And he says, "What's that?" And I said, "It's OCD, but only in the correct order." Okay. So this will be our last and final page for this journal. We want to make sure that we don't get into that where we can still open this flap once that's glued down. So you can just kind of pull it up and judge it that way. And now we'll put some glue on it. Okay. I'm just going to hold that up so I know I'm not going to get in that fold. Check and make sure I'm not getting in that fold. Make sure it's even with the rest of the pages. It seems like a lot to think about, but it's really pretty easy once you do it one time, and you'll have the hang of it and you'll never forget how to do it. And I don't know that this is the correct way to do it, like I always tell you. This is just how I do it. I'm what they call a visual learner, which I think is why I love YouTube so much, because when I was younger, I have to tell you this story. When I was younger, my grandmother used to try to teach me how to crochet, and I love to crochet, and I loved all the stuff that she used to make. And she used to try to teach me how, and she'd give me book after book after book, and I just was not getting it. I don't know why, but that's just not the way my brain works. And this took probably a couple of months or so. And finally she said, "I know, just sit down here." And she showed me. She did it in front of me and showed me how to do it. And once she showed me the first time, I had it. Sometimes that's all it takes. So yeah, I am a visual learner. So watching YouTube videos, is a learning experience. And I just love it. And I've always loved crafting. I taught daycare for a short bit when my daughter was younger, and it's a little long. And my mother was a very crafty person. My sister always tells me that that gene missed her, but I really don't think it does. She makes some very pretty stuff too. I'm just going to cut this with scissors. Hopefully I can cut it straight. I'm not real good with a pair of scissors. Thank goodness for paper cutters. Trim that off. And this is just kind of trial and error. It's just to hide that seam so it's not so in your face when we get the rest of the paper on. Generally on this kind of paper that I'm using, I would use a brown colored cardstock, but I'm out of that right now. So we'll stick that in. That page opens, and that page, there we go. Okay, so this is going to cover our seam up. Just so you don't see it. That's got writing on it. I have to make sure it's the right side up. Yeah, it looks like it is. I don't think it's in English, so I probably wouldn't know for sure, but from the way it's on there, it looks like it is. Okay. And just burnish that down. So there you go. Now normally I would start at the front page, but we're gonna put a couple of these on here real quick just so you can see. Use those two. Okay, I'm gonna ink the edges of these. I should have inked the edges of that inside piece, but maybe you don't really want to because you probably don't want to draw attention to that. Make sure that's down. I'm just using Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide in Vintage Photo. Vintage Photo is my very favorite ink. I use it on most anything. So there's one. And this, just in case you want to know, this paper pack is, who is this from? The Paper Studios, and it's called Our Family Tree, and it is cardstock, one-sided. But I just love this paper. It is so pretty. And in the front, it has a family tree thing, which I'm going to make something out of that. That is just gorgeous. And then this one is just a tree, and then you have these little things. So you could make your family tree and just put the little stickers and put the names of the people in your immediate family or what have you on there and frame that. That would be gorgeous. We might have to do that. But yeah, this is a beautiful paper pack. And it's also the same pack I used to cover my Pringle cans that I use for my buttons and stuff. I know, I'm getting sidetracked. I hear you. I'm getting sidetracked. Always do. Somebody's making a little noise outside, and I keep waiting on my dog to start barking because, you know, nobody's allowed to be around out on the street or in and out of their cars or anything. She just has a fit. And if the mailman comes, whew, she goes crazy. She's a little teacup Yorkie. Now, this has a little over. I'm going to trim this up just a tiny bit right here. Something sticking out. I'm trying to debate whether I want these to be square corners or round. I think we'll do these square because, just because. We worked last weekend when it was so nice. We got all of the gazebo taken down for the winter and all that stuff put away. That was really fun. Still have to empty out the boat. My husband, drew a drawing of a boat sandbox for the grandkids, and my husband and I built for them. Well, he did most of it. I did the painting. I'll have to post a picture sometime of that for you to see. And I made them a little table and chairs, and the table looks like a flower, and the chairs are mushrooms, the little stools, and they just loved it. But they left the sandbox open the last time. We made a lid for it, and they forgot to close it, so it needs to be emptied out. I'm going to trim this. It's not straight still. Right. That's better. Okay. I'm going to trim this one a little too. Yeah, if something doesn't look right to you when you're making it, you know, just fix it. Trim it up. Add some lace, and you'll you'll be surprised how nice it will look in the end. Okay. I love my lace anyway on stuff. Lace and mushrooms and buttons and keys. Keys are my favorite. Any kind of keys, especially the antique skeleton-like keys. Love those. Probably put one on about everything I make somewhere. Alright, and we'll put this one down. It's hard to see where the end of the page is there. There we go. If I can get it straight. Boy, I cut these papers last night. Did not get them very straight. Oh, I didn't tell you to lay down there yet. There we go. Okay. I won't do every page. I mean, I won't take that much of your time up, unless you want me to, but, and if you do like to see the process all the way through on things, just, you know, leave me a comment below and I will do that. But, I just wanted to make sure that you saw that once you have these two pieces on your pages, that kind of just disappears. And then once you embellish it and put all the little doodads and pockets and belly bands and stuff on it, then it'll look great. You'll love it. But that's it. That's how we do. And I'm not sure what those, I'm sure other people have made them kind of hinges and probably have a name for it, but I don't know what that name would be. Like I said, I just kind of self-taught myself how to do a lot of stuff, and you know, us old people, once we do it a certain way and it works and we get it in our mind, then that's it. That's the way we do it from then on. So I will finish this journal up. Put it over here with my other 3 I need to get finished up. I think that's what I'm going to do this weekend, is basically just finish up these 4 that I have going here, so I can get them up on my Etsy shop. And the one I have making for my daughter. And anyway, yeah, that's it. So, also, a couple of people were asking me about my cans here that I have my buttons and stuff in. And like I said, they're just snack size Pringles cans that I covered with that paper. And, you know, just embellished up a little bit just so they look nice. Because everything should be pretty one way or another. But if you'd like to see how to make them, we can do that too. They're not hard. There's a lot of things you can make out of those cans, actually. And today I finished off my raisin container, and I'm going to make one out of that for my metal embellishments. So, because storage is always important. You never have too much storage. Alright, well everybody, stay safe. You know, leave a comment below if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you'd like to see more of that kind of stuff, what kind of stuff you do want to see. Do you want to see projects all the way through, or just like that to where you get the idea, you get the gist of it, and take it from there? However I can help, let me know. Stay safe. Have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.